Okay, yeah, you got another duplicate behind the scenes, bro. What did I say? What did I say? I said it was another duplicate! I said it! Oh my god! We got John Craig with the $9 to $10, bro! I need everyone in chat to drop a W. Drop a W for this. $10 and... YouTube, we are here with the best Speedroid advanced guide, analysis, combo tutorial that you will see. All right, so let's cover what will be inside this advanced guide. I'll put the timestamps right here, so if you're interested in any specific part, you'll know where to go. We're going to start off with analysis. We're going to cover why we're running certain Speedroid cards and not others. Next, I'm going to show you a basic combo tutorial, and then I'm going to show you a mirror match. Now, the mirror match is really where you get to see the intricacies of the deck. You can see the low skill plays and you can see the high skill plays. I'm going to show it to you. Click the timestamp here. Now, with all that being said, almost all of this footage was on my live stream and we go absolutely crazy there. Everybody loves it. It's a fantastic time. If you want to be part of these discussions, like the video, subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss it. Let's go. So why are we running triple win? We're running triple win and one Speedroid scratch for consistency. We're running a 30 card deck, so we need ways to search out our cards, especially given the fact that we only have one Speedroid Terratop. We're gonna need ways to search it. That's our way. If you only have one win, you are absolutely cooked. You need 3 win the win channeler. No exceptions. The card that you can cheap out on is the Speedroid scratch. You don't need the scratch, you need 3 win. Speedroid Terratop needs no introduction. This is literally the best card in your deck. It is Elemental Hero Stratos, except that it can special summon itself if you control no monsters. The next searcher we have is Speedroid Marble Machine. Marble Machine is essentially a Terratop, but you have to normal summon it. This is not the best normal summon in the deck, but a lot of the time, if you're not running this card, you will probably be cooked. We have a lot of ways to special summon tuners, being Card Turbo just can summon itself if you control a win monster. You can summon out your dice by banishing your Den Daikoduke from your graveyard. You can special summon Duplicate as a tuner if it's in your graveyard. And you can summon out any tuner from your deck with Takatomborg by tributing it. So we have a lot of ways to special summon tuners. We don't have a lot of non-tuners. This is a good card, but let's talk about the limitations of Speedroid Marble Machine. So the problem is, this is a pendulum monster, which you might not think is that big of a deal, but it actually causes a major issue. The major issue with Speedroid Marble Machine being a pendulum monster is that it doesn't go to the graveyard when you use it as material for a Synchro or Link summon. This is just pendulum ruling. This is Konami being cringe. Why is that bad? That's bad because the best Synchro monster in your deck to get your plays going is your high Speedroid Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter on summon, if all the materials that were used for the Synchro summon of this card were Speedroid monsters and are in your graveyard, special summon all of them. That's bad with Marble Machine because this will actually be face up in your extra deck. Therefore, you cannot activate Cork Shooter's effect to special summon the materials and continue your Synchro climbs. So you got to be very careful when you're using Marble Machine. Same thing happens when you link it off with high Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. This goes to your extra deck, but overall it is still really good. You got to play around that. The next, I guess, good normal summon we have is Speedroid Ultra Hound. Now, Ultra Hound on summon will let you send any Speedroid card from your deck to the grave, which is very strong, especially because you can send Duplicate. Duplicate, again, like I said, in the graveyard will let you change one of the levels of your Speedroid monsters and lower it by 1 to then special summon as a tuner monster for graveyard. That's pretty good. Also, Ultra Hound does actually have a second effect in your graveyard. The next turn after it's sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Speedroid monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, special summon one Speedroid Synchro monster from your extra deck with the same level but a different name. For example, banish a level 3 monster in your graveyard to then freely special summon out Cork Shooter from the extra deck if you still have it there. Okay, so that's actually good. That effect rarely comes up, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is actually still good to know and why we're running this card. Next, we're looking at Double Yo-Yo. Double Yo-Yo is arguably the best normal summon here. This is kind of a toss-up. So I think, like, honestly, if I'm looking at the ratios, I might want to bump Double Yo-Yo up to 3. But again, the problem with Double Yo-Yo is that it requires cards in the graveyard for itself to be good, whereas Marble Machine allows you to actually continue searching your deck. Because also, what's important to know is that your skill basically means, the thing is, your skill essentially means that any card in your hand is not a brick. That's probably the biggest thing about Speedroids, is that no card in your hand is a brick, because you can simply just activate the skill and then send 2 cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard and play a Clearing Synchro Dragon from your extra deck or graveyard. Remember, or graveyard. So it basically means that any card in your hand is no longer a brick, which means that you can think of this, you can get greedy with your deck building. Basically, you just want to fully optimize your greed for your card advantage. And Marble Machine gives you more card advantage with no contingencies, whereas Speedroid Double Yo-Yo requires you to have a card in your graveyard, which means it's just harder to get started. But in general, I will say that Speedroid Double Yo-Yo often gets you farther along in your turn than Marble Machine does, but we also need to min-max our plays, right? We don't want to be in a situation in which we can't get started. Once we're already starting to combo off, it's really easy to keep going. We have a lot of options. The hardest part is getting started, and if we don't have Terra Top, we're gonna want the Marble Machine. And then a lot of the time we can just link off into Rubber Band Shooter anyway and get an extra normal summon. By the way, your Marble Machine can search your Double Yo-Yo, and so Rubber Band Shooter will give you another normal summon to play your Double Yo-Yo. So it's insanely good. Why are we not playing Speedroid Wheel? Let's take a look at the card. I'm gonna explain this to you because I actually have genuine reasoning why we're not playing this card. This card is actually garbage. And so I've thought about this for a little bit. Let's think about this from strictly a card advantage perspective. You have Speedroid Wheel, which is one card. So if you have 4 cards in your hand, one of them is Speedroid Wheel. Now, in order to activate Speedroid Wheel, its cost, which you can see before the semicolon, is to discard 1 card. So just to even activate the card itself, you now need to go -1 in card advantage, which means that we had 4 cards and we have now just spent 2 of them activating Speedroid Wheel, which should be fine because technically this will let you summon 2 Speedroid monsters from the deck. Presumably, we've deck built, we're running 2 of everything at least, which means that we will be able to special summon most of the time, probably 2 monsters. And yeah, like that could actually be fairly good. The only thing is that the effects are negated. If their effects weren't negated, I would say that Speedroid Wheel is like much better than what I think it is now. Because the thing is, so if you did roll something crazy, like you could roll a Fukumadoshi Piper, which is essentially just Pot of Prosperity, which is actually a banned card in Master Duel, and that would be insanely good. But they're negated. Also, if you could summon into a dice, that means you can start your combos and go crazy. Again, it would be insanely good. But yeah, here's the thing. We can't even gamble for the effects that we want to use from the deck. So they're just bodies on the board. Now let's say we have, in our best case scenario, we have 2 cards in our hand now and 2 guys on the board. Well, then now what are we gonna do? Okay, like I guess, yeah, we might have link fodder, so that at that point maybe we can start link climbing, but we burnt so many resources. Also, if your opponent has effect failure and they effect fail your Rubber Band Shooter, that really sucks for you. So I guess the safest play would then be to activate your skill. So you activate your skill to then send the 2 monsters that you have just summoned off Speedroid Wheel to the graveyard to then summon a clearing from the extra deck. Well, now the thing is, we have no control over what we sent to the graveyard because they're just 2 random cards from our deck. We might have gotten lucky and gotten a Den Den Daiku Duke and a dice. Crazy. Actually insane if we roll a 4. But realistically, we could get a ton of other cards and like we just burn resources. We could just end up burning our resources. One of the biggest problems of Speedroids is that we run out of resources quickly. And with decks like Shadal in the meta, we don't want to actually lose our resources too early. My main point about Speedroid Wheel is that if the 2 cards in our hand were anyway, we could have just sent them for the skill and not burned random stuff in the deck. Instead of running Speedroid Wheel, we're running more tech cards, which will actually do more for the deck. And think about this. Let's say, and you've seen me do this, let's say you draw too many tech cards. Oh, I drew a Forbidden Lance and I drew a Chalice, or I drew a Chalice and a Book of Eclipse. This is a more advantageous position than if you had Speedroid Wheel, because now you can be like, oh, I want to activate my skill now, and I guess I can afford to sacrifice a Forbidden Chalice from the hand. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that makes more sense to me. Like, I'd rather have the option, okay, I have the tech cards. If I brick or I want to use my skill here, I can send one of the tech cards to the graveyard, which would have just been the Speedroid Wheel anyway. That's my thought. I would rather run more tech cards to counteract the meta that is hurting me than it is to run a gamble card that doesn't even have a good upside on gambling. Gambling in this game is not very good. I don't like gamble effects. And I think this is a clear-cut example of people thinking that it's really strong. And I just haven't seen a use case in which this is actually really that powerful as people think it is. I think it's important. It's an important discussion to have why we're not playing Speedroid Wheel, because a lot of people play it and I think it's wrong. Let's look at the tech cards. Why are we running these? And I have a very specific reasons for running these tech cards, which a lot of people just by default just throw in what they think are the best staples in the current meta and not actually think about it, and they get cooked. So a lot of people are on Droplet right now. Why am I on Chalice? The thing is, I think a lot of people overhype Droplet because Droplet in a lot of cases is very strong. I think in the cases in which Droplet is stronger than Chalice, it's substantially stronger than Chalice. There are like cases where your opponent or even you could just completely win the game off resolving Droplet, and like, yeah, it was just perfect, right? Your opponent has 2 boss monsters. Oh, Droplet. Yep, GG, bro. And you also get spell speed for protection. Droplet's very good. But why are we running Chalice in this deck? It's important to think about the deck you're playing it in, right? Like I said earlier, we want to get greedy with our card advantage. We're playing 3 Marble Machine to get greedy, because that's how we win. When we synchro climb, we go through these crazy combos. Chalice is also a nice out for Underworld Goddess when it comes out. Yes, exactly. And this is my point for Chalice. It doesn't cost additional cards to activate it. So for example, Kucha Train brought up Underworld Goddess. Yes, in that situation, if you use Droplet to negate 1 monster, you actually went neg 1 in card advantage for not much benefit. Chalice was actually better. I would have rather played a Chalice and kept a card in my hand than activate a Droplet and discard a card. I mean, even though we want cards in the graveyard, the reality of the situation is we're running plenty of other ways to discard cards from our hand. We don't need another one. And then also, what is the #1 deck in this meta? And what is the #1 most oppressive card in this meta? It is Shaddoll Winda. Shaddoll Winda basically means that once it's out, you can only special summon once that turn. We know that the #1 card that will end our deck is Shaddoll Winda. 1 in 2 games we're facing Shaddoll. With the idea that we're probably going to be negating Winda anyway, why would we want to play Droplet and have to go neg 1 to negate their Winda when we could simply just run Chalice to negate their Winda and do the same thing? I think that Chalice is conditionally better than Droplet depending on the meta, and in this meta specifically, there are more cases in which I'm happier with a Chalice than I would be with a Droplet. Let's talk Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is also another card that is very powerful. So this also outs their Winda, and it also just outs more decks. As Moomen said in chat, Utopia pretty much dies to Book of Eclipse, and so there are a lot of other decks that are in the meta right now that lose to Book of Eclipse, so we're kind of like spreading out our card. Not even metaphorically, we're literally spreading out our cards. Against Shaddoll, Book of Eclipse or Chalice, it doesn't matter which one we have. They accomplish essentially the same thing, so it's not that big of a deal. But against other decks, you know, it is debatable, right? Like, okay, against Utopia, I probably want Book of Eclipse, right? We're running 4 cards to out the meta. Those are pretty good. But if you don't have Book of Eclipse, again, because we're only targeting 1 monster, we only care about the Winda. If you don't have Book of Eclipse, play Book of Moon. Book of Moon is fine. It's just as good in this use case. But when we talk about other cases like Utopia, I mean, Book of Eclipse is a clear-cut upgrade over Book of Moon against Utopia. That is true. Let's talk Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance is also much better than Cosmic Cyclone and MST in this current meta, especially in this deck. Why is this card better? Because what are the top decks? The top decks that are clapping us are Shaddoll and Utopia. Let's say Shaddoll activates their trap card in the graveyard to target their face-up monster on the field to then flip it face down. Well, we can negate that with our Lance. Also, the thing about Cosmic Cyclone and MST is that you're essentially gambling. I think the middle back row is the bad one. Now, whatever mental gymnastics you do to really say, oh, I'm going to snipe that, you just got lucky. Utopia, what do? They activate Rank Up Magic Numeron's Force and Rank Up Magic Barion's Force. The way those cards work is they target one Xyz monster you control, whatever, and then Xyz summon a monster on top of it. Well, if you Forbidden Lance their Utopia in response to them activating the Rank Up Magic spell, the Rank Up Magic spell can no longer resolve because it does not affect that monster. Forbidden Lance is actually the best spell and trap card protection that we have right now. Let's actually talk about the extra deck, okay? Because this is controversial. I have a very controversial extra deck, but I think this is correct. There are cards that I want, but there are no flex spots for what we have. Let's go over it. High Speedroid Clearing Rider. So this is the card that basically solves a lot of your deck's problems. What are our problems? Our problems are we synchro spam and we run out of fuel. We can't grind game against Shaddoll. We can't grind with Shaddoll. We can't grind with some of the other decks in the meta, like Predaplan or something. So we need a card to recycle our resources. In our current setup, the only card that we have to recycle our graveyard is High Speedroid Clearing Rider. During your main phase, you can roll a dice. So this is a little bit gambly, but it's fine. For each number that you got, you can return cards from your graveyard back to the deck and or extra deck, depending on what you're sending. And then non-target, destroy that many cards on the field. So that's really good. Also, as another play, you can actually go into this use its recycle ability turn 1, and then during your opponent's turn, it has a quick effect. During their main phase, you contribute High Speedroid Clearing Rider to special summon 2 Wind Synchro monsters from your extra deck with different names, meaning we're summoning out Clearing Fast Dragon and Clearing Synchro Dragon. So this essentially is 2 boss monsters on 1 body, plus it allows you to recycle your monsters. So like, it's really powerful, and it can often win you the game up front. All that to say, I think we need this card. It solves a critical weakness in the deck, and it is just really good. Also, it gains 500 attack for each card destroyed by its effect, meaning if you roll a 1 out of 6, you have lethal damage on 1 card. So it's really powerful. Next, running a Crystal Clearing Synchro Dragon. This is the new boss monster, and I'm really happy this is in Duel Links, because this was a card that got completely slept on because there's just a better level 10 Wind Synchro in the game, which was Baronne de Fleur, and so this never saw play. Everyone's like, this card is actually garbage because Baronne is more generic, easier to summon, and has a better effect. I don't know what Konami was thinking, but we don't have Baronne de Fleur. We only have this, and this is very, very good in Duel Links, so I'm very happy that we have it. This lets you activate your skill. If you control level 10 monster, then you get to search any Speedroid card or Speed Recovery from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Also, if you're going second, you just get to spam the graveyard with a bunch of Speedroid cards. Also, it has 2 different effects. One, it has a monster protection effect. So let's say your opponent were to activate a monster effect that would in some way interact with your Crystal Clearing Synchro Dragon. Well, in response to that, as a quick effect, you can, until the end of this turn, gain attack equal to the monster activating its effect, all other monster effects, not just the one that activated, all other monster effects for the rest of the turn. If you play this right, you can either bait your opponent out because they don't read cards, or you can also specifically activate this when your opponent activates a monster with very high attack just to get a giant body and then like get monster effect immunity. It's really good. And then it is also a spell and trap negate on top of all of that, which is very powerful. Your deck pretty much requires this. Next, we have Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. This is the bread and butter of the deck. This is actually the best boss monster. Quick effect monster negate. Also, if it destroyed a monster on the field, it gains attack equal to that monster's original attack until the end of the turn, basically becoming a giant beat stick. And if that wasn't enough, if it battles a level 5 or higher monster, it gains attack equal to that monster's attack, meaning that you're guaranteed going to be dealing 3,000 damage minimum to their face with Crystal Wing. That's really good. A lot of time, people still don't read that effect, and they lose to it all the time. People are garbage. Next, we're running High Speedroid Kite Drake. Kite Drake is an interesting one because I see a lot of people sleeping on Kite Drake. Let's go through this. A lot of people would say, why are we running Kite Drake with Clearing Rider? Well, so the thing about Clearing Rider is that it's not a trigger effect. Now, what is a trigger effect? I'm gonna give you some Yu-Gi-Oh lesson. I'm your teacher and class is in session. A trigger effect is an effect that occurs on a condition of something occurring. What the hell does that mean? What that means is, if you see this right here, if this card is synchro summoned with a colon, that is a condition that is occurring. We will then activate a trigger effect. Do one of these things. An ignition effect is an effect that you can activate only during your main phase as spell speed 1. Once per turn during your main phase. But Kite Drake activates its effect when it's summoned. Clearing Rider activates its effect during your main phase. The reason why that is important is because Kite Drake starts a chain link. So the summon of Kite Drake, if that goes through, right, your opponent doesn't negate your summon, its effect will activate to then either destroy all cards on the field or negate all face-up cards on the field. If it's sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, it floats into a Speedroid monster from your deck. So like, it's insanely good. And also, the third reason why we're running Kite Drake is because there are times where we want to synchro climb up into our high Speedroid Clearing Rider, and we don't want to have to burn our Crystal Wing in the synchro climb. That would suck so much. If you're going to go into a level 8 synchro and then use, like, let's say Card Turbo, for example, to then summon Clearing Rider, it would suck if you had to get rid of your Crystal Wing just so you could summon Clearing Rider. That would suck. A better effect is, well, let's ladder up into Kite Drake, negate the board, or blow up the field, and then go into Clearing Rider. Clearing Fast Dragon, again, we're running this card specifically because of Clearing Rider, but also, Fast Dragon's insanely good because while you're climbing up into your synchro plays, you can target your opponent's monster and make their attack 0. Let's say you're climbing into your crystal clearing Synchro Dragon and your opponent controls, let's say, a Rainbow Neos. Then what you can do is target their Rainbow Neos. You can summon out your clearing fast dragon, target their Rainbow Neos, make their attack 0, then go into your crystal clearing Synchro Dragon and go crazy. Essentially, you negated them, made their attack 0, and opened yourself up for lethal damage. That's why we need the clearing fast. We're running Clear Wing Synchro Dragon because it's required for the skill, and it's also probably just the best level 7 synchro in the game. I mean, Clearing Fast is pretty good, but Clearing Synchro Dragon's a really solid card. We're running Cork Shooter because it's required for pretty much making any major play in the deck. This is the card that's going to start generating the most advantage, because on summon you can special summon the materials, on summon you can search for duplicate. It's insanely good, and then that will let you go into your Crystal Clearing Synchro Dragon, which lets you activate your skill and yada 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 yada. You need this card. Then we run Rubber Band Shooter. This took a lot of thought into why we run Rubber Band Shooter. I'm going to put you guys on some legitimate sauce right now. The thing about Rubber Band Shooter is that it can never be your main game plan because of two crucial reasons. Because one of its effects is a gamble effect, which I've already said before is not very good when you're looking for a hyper consistent strategy. And then the second reason, it gives you an additional normal summon, which is good, but if your game plan relies on Rubber Band Shooter's normal summon going off, well then if your opponent has an effect failure, guess what, buddy? You're cooked. You put yourself in a situation where you're so vulnerable. You need this normal summon to resolve. All they got to do is drop an effect failure and you lose your search and you lose your normal summon, dude. That's actually awful. Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter can never be your main game plan. So, with all that out of the way, why is it in the deck? Well, because if you've read its effects, it's really good. But giving yourself an extra normal summon is ridiculously powerful. Second of all, the gamble effect can actually be like mitigated by running Kendama, and so this is why we run Kendama, because Kendama will let you get the best possible answers to everything you need in the moment. Okay, let's talk about that. What does that even mean? So Rubber Band Shooter lets you banish Kendama from the extra deck, allowing you to add 2 level 3s or a level 4 and a level 2. So I'm not gonna lie to you, you probably do not want to do double yo-yo and marble machine unless you are gambling, which there are going to be times where you gamble, but like I said, try to limit those. Gambling is not very good. Don't gamble. Kids, don't gamble. The other options are Denden Daiko Duke, Takatomborg, and Car Turbo, and Ultra Hound. So let's think about this. You obviously want to select Denden Daiko Duke, because really it doesn't matter if this card is sent to the grave or it's in your hand. Think about this, because odds are you're going to activate Rubber Band Shooter to send Daiko Duke in another level 3 before you've activated your skill to summon Clearwing. Meaning that if this is sent to the graveyard and you get the other level 3, well, hey, you just did pretty good, because Denden Daiko Duke's now in the grave and it's live and lets you do whatever it does. If Denden Daiko Duke gets added to your hand, well, that doesn't really matter because you can just send it to the graveyard with your busted Glue Eater skill anyway. So it doesn't matter, right? The whole point of going into Rubber Band Shooter is getting Denden Daiko Duke in the graveyard. So that's pretty good. But then on top of that, we can gamble. And this is where I think gambling is good. When the worst outcome of your gamble is still insanely good, then it's okay to try to get lucky. If I get Car Turbo in my hand, well then that gives me another free special summon. If it gets sent to the graveyard, well then all my guys get boosted by 800 attack until the end of the turn. Okay, yeah, that doesn't matter. Yeah, sure, dude, I'll gamble. Denden Daiko Duke in the hand, Car Turbo in the grave, fine. My guys get boosted attack, I send the Duke to the grave anyway, and I keep playing. I get the Car Turbo in my hand and the Duke in the grave, well, guess what? I get to keep special summoning, I get to keep going crazy. Same thing can be said about Takatomborg, same thing can be said about Ultra Hound. That's just facts. That's actual genuine facts. Kendama allows us to make a good gamble off of Rubber Band Shooter. That's the reality. Otherwise, people are running 2 Clearwing Synchro Dragons, banishing one of the Clearwing Synchro Dragons, sending a Denden Daiko Duke with what? Oh, with what? What are we sending? Fukumadoshi Piper and double yo-yo? That's awful, dude. Like, the thing is, if you do that, then like, yeah, if your double yo-yo gets sent to the graveyard, this has no effect in the graveyard. It's actually just bad to have this in your graveyard, and so you kind of lost that. Okay, and then Fukumadoshi Piper, again, it doesn't really have a good graveyard effect. Like, it doesn't really do much in the graveyard. Why are we not running Hagoida? Why are we not running another Clearwing? It's because we just don't have enough space. That's the genuine reason. If you want the honest answer, we just don't have enough space. Like, honestly, all those cards are really good. And there are times in which I'm like, oh, I really wish that I had Hagoida right now. There are times, but there are more cases in which I am happy that I have the rubber band shooter as an extender to my plays than I am upset that I don't have Hagoida. We're picking the lesser of two evils here, the one that hurts the least. I hope that that was like a thorough explanation to this deck list. Let's get into the combo tutorial. So this first combo, I will show you how to get Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon and Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, or if you're running two Crystal Clearwings, you can actually get two Crystal Clearwings out on your first turn without using your normal summon. This is your standard combo line. You want to go for this every single turn. Do they have effect failure? We instantly lose if they have effect failure. Okay, so we need Takatomborg then. Activating Takatomborg into Dice. Dice on summon is going to change our Terratop into level 2. Setting up our Synchro climb. Let's do it. We're now going to Synchro summon into High Speedroid Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter on summon is going to summon our materials. So special summon the materials from the graveyard. And we're actually going to play into our extra monster zone because we have no further extenders right here. We want to play into the extra monster zone. Okay, we're going to activate this, make you level 6. So we're gonna be able to search one card. We want to search a Denden Daiko Duke, guaranteed, because we're gonna get Crystal Clear, but we're also gonna get Crystal Wing. If we search Denden Daiko Duke, we also actually get a Crystal Wing as well. We're gonna activate our skill. We're gonna, if we control a level 10 monster, which we do, we're gonna freely search. We want Crystal Wing. That's what we do. Send you and send you. Getting back our Clear Wing, activating our Denden Daiko Duke to special summon the dice in the grave. Now, this is the point. If you had two Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragons in your extra deck, then you could actually use Denden Daiko Duke to special summon out the Cork Shooter from the graveyard to then Synchro summon a second Crystal Clearwing. We're not running two Crystal Clears in this deck list, so we're going to go for the Crystal Wing. Now we're going to Synchro into our Crystal Wing, and we're going to finish our turn. Now, the second portion, I will show you what to do if you have some type of extender. When you have a normal summon, it gets much stronger. We're going to activate our Win the Wind Channeler, getting rid of our Fukumadoshi Piper to search out our Speedroid Terratop. Because we control no monsters, we're freely going to summon out that Terratop. Terratop on summon will get to search a Takatomborg from the deck. We're going to Takatomborg into the Red Eye Dice. Going for our standard combo line right now. Activate the Red Eye Dice, targeting our Terratop to make him level 2. Then we will go into our High Speedroid Cork Shooter. So looking at our graveyard, we're doing pretty good right now. We're going to special summon out the materials from the grave. Again, come forth, Dice into Terratop. Dice on summon will make Terratop level 6. We will then Synchro summon it into our Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. Come forth, Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. So I think, do we have Denden Daiko Duke in the grave already? That's a very important question. We don't have Duke in the grave, but we can get Duke with Marble Machine. So let me think about this. We need Duke. Here's what I think we do. I think we can normal summon our Marble Machine here. We're gonna deviate from the combo line a little bit. We're gonna normal summon our Marble Machine, and we're actually gonna search out a card turbo here. And then we're gonna card turbo. I really want to search Duplicate off the skill, so we're gonna try our best to do that. We're now gonna link off into High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. Yes, no, this is correct. This is correct. Yeah, because then we can search Duplicate off the skill. I think searching Duplicate off the skill is like substantially better than anything else we could have done. So yeah, this is actually good. We're getting Duplicate off the skill here. We're going to banish a Wind Synchro monster. We're gonna guaranteed get our Denden Daiko Duke in the graveyard for our next play. So we can select Denden Daiko Duke, and then I don't think this. I mean, yeah, we can min-max this with Ultra Hound. Oh my god, dude! I love how we like actually win the gamble when it doesn't really matter. That's so funny. But anyway, we'll normal summon our Ultra Hound. Oh my god, I meant to click yes, dude. Oh my god. You know, you don't win them all. You cannot win them all. How did I click no, dude? What the hell is going on, man? What the frick? We'll go into the Crystal Wing here, and then this is where we really think about things. Do we want to skill right now and have a duplicate? I think we genuinely do want to duplicate for next turn. I think we do. I think the duplicate will actually be oppressive enough to go crazy. We're going to skill now. We're going to skill. We're going to get skilling. We do want the duplicate. And what we're going to do is actually set the Chalice here as a bait and to make them think we're bad. Think about things a little bit longer. Think about things, pretend like we're not playing the duplicate, and we're going to set the duplicate. And then I guess we'll just end the turn there. Okay, cool. So the most important thing to think about when you're doing your standard combo is, do you have a way to get dead in Daikaduke without the skill? And do you have an extender or normal summon? So if you happen to be able to get dead in Daikaduke through some manner, that could be by link summoning out Rubber Band Shooter and banishing Kendama to then either add a dead in Daikaduke to your hand or graveyard. That gamble doesn't actually matter, because either way, you're just doing that to get dead in Daikaduke in the grave. It doesn't matter if it's in your hand, you'll send it for the skill. If it's already in the graveyard, then you're good. If you do that, you can actually search Duplicate with your skill, which is very, very strong, because Duplicate is really slept on. Being able to bounce one of your opponent's cards is very, very good. So yeah, that's kind of the thought process. There's a lot of different ways to accomplish this. I'm basically showing you a pattern. This is the standard combo, but there's a lot of different lines to accomplish this exact play. So you got to play smart. And so what I don't want you to do is, I don't want you to extend where you enter a situation where you're fragile. This combo is insanely powerful because it doesn't matter if you get effect failure. In fact, you play this combo hoping to bait out your opponent's effect failure, hoping to bait out their hand traps. It's very good because it doesn't use your normal summon, so you can always pivot into a different combo line if things start going wrong. One of the great things about Speedroids is that it's a high skilled deck. That means that if you enter a mirror match and you're better than your opponent, a lot of the time you're gonna win. The replay I'm about to show you will demonstrate the differences between a low skill Speedroid player and a high skill Speedroid player. This deck has a high skill ceiling. It's not a yellow button deck. It is not a glue eater deck. You can clearly see the skill gap in the mirror match, and I'm about to show it to you right now. Let's go. I'm facing against Speedroids. So nobody knows Speedroids better than me.
And you know who the best Speedroids player is.
Yeah, dude. That's me.
It's already cut clean. We already know who's going to win this.
Exactly, bro. All right, normal summoning Marble Machine. Marble Machine on summon will search the deck. What are we searching?
Your cards look better. Your cards look better, so you know you're going to win.
Exactly. We got a win incoming from Shinobi. Shinobi knows the vibes. Shinobi knows it.
Knows. Shinobi knows.
We're going to link off into Rubber Band Shooter. This guy already know we're gonna win the game. How do I know this? How do I know this? I know this because he is going into this gambling on the fact that I don't have effect failure. If I had effect failure right now, he's cooked. Absolutely cooked. And then secondly, he's gambling on Hagoida. He's hoping that he gets, I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know why he went.
And these are the small brain Speedroid players.
It's a small brain. Yeah, look, he's going here. He's like, okay,
this is why you come to here.
He only cares about getting the Duke to hand, but honestly, Kendama would have been a better send because he already normal summon Marble Machine. If he sent Kendama, for example, if he sent the Kendama, then he would have been able to guarantee either get Denden Daikaduke or any level 3, which could have been card turn, which could have been insane. So this guy, first of all, played fragilely. This was a fragile board state. If I had effectively, he would have lost. Guaranteed lose. My hand is effective failure and Droll and Lockbird. He can no longer play the game. This is all a whole lot of nothing, is what I'm saying. And so
a lot of nothing.
It's a whole lot of nothing. So now, but also what's cringe is he's clogged up his board. So in this board state, he's gonna summon out his cork shooter, but he's only gonna be able to search Duplicate. We know what's gonna happen because he's clogged his board and he's unable to actually continue comboing off. In Synchro climbing, he can only search the Duplicate. So his best board right now is pretty cringe. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cringe. So what does this guy do? He has a Duplicate. He has a Duplicate and a Spell and Trap Negate, which I actually don't know what's going on here. He could have made like a way better board, dude. He could have made a way better. And this is what I'm talking about, bro. And we have a Lance. All right, well, this is how you know we're about to go crazy. Chat, we're about to go crazy. We're going to start turn off by activating our skills, searching our Speedroid Terror Top, and filling our entire graveyard. That's how you know we're just better than this game. Right. We had a yellow button and he didn't. That's how you know we're better. Activate Terror Top. Bro. My bro is cooked. Bro is cooked beyond belief. He is a well done steak. He's a poorly done, well done steak, bro. We don't deviate. We don't need to deviate. We're going to activate. Yellow button doesn't equal skill. Correct. We have a yellow button and we have skill, bro. I'm going to show this guy how to actually combo off with Speedroids. We have a full out to his board with Lance and Chalice. No matter what he does, he can absolutely do nothing to me. All right, so on summon, Cork Shooter will be able to special summon the material. So what he's thinking about doing is why didn't he activate his Duplicate? He should have duplicated. He knows what's happening. My guy knows what's going on. He plays the same deck as me. He plays the same deck as me, but less good. That's what it is. He plays it less skillfully, and this is exactly case in point. This is how you know you're facing a good Speedroid player or not. We will find out, bro.
Right.
Look at this. Duplicate. Watch this. Watch it. Watch it. Watch this. Guess who freaking wins? Guess who freaking wins? You know who freaking wins? Me, dude. Duplicate. We activate Lance. Watch this. And he's gonna be like, oh no, I'm gonna negate that. Freaking fool, bro. Look at this. Garbage. Actually outplayed, dude.
Bro picked up this deck yesterday.
Yeah, bro literally
Okay,
picked up this deck
movie.
yesterday, bro. Guaranteed. What is he gonna do now, bro? Okay, yeah, you got another duplicate behind the scenes, bro. Come on now. You're actually beyond cooked. You're beyond cooked in this interaction, and you know that you are, dude. You actually know that you are. You're beyond cooked. I haven't normal summoned or even used my skill yet. This is purely off a special summon. What did I say? What did I say? I said it with another duplicate! I said it! Oh my god!
Go!
Oh my god! Who is the best Speedroid player out there, bro?
Hey.
Who is actually the best Speedroid player out there? It is not this guy. I can tell you
Guys, everyone
100 P,
chat.
bro.
Everyone chat, don't forget to
100 P.
like.
This is what it is, bro.
Speedroid player makes it this far.
Let's actually go, dude. He's gonna activate this, but it
You're
doesn't matter. He's
better
wasting his
than him
timer.
and you're getting there.
It doesn't matter, bro. Yeah, dude, this guy's cringe. I've already negated you,
cringe.
bro. This guy's hella cringe. This guy's cringe beyond belief. This guy's like cringe beyond everything, bro. Yes, I got resources for days. Why? Because I'm a better player than
That's
him.
right.
This is
That's
just
right.
genuinely me being a better player than him, bro. Genuinely, bro. Like,
Skill gap.
actually-
Skill
This is
gap.
100% a skill gap. Like, I haven't even freaking skilled yet, dude. I haven't even skilled yet. I got resources all day. Oh my god. Who is actually better, dude? Who's better? Because it's not him. I know with almost 1000% certainty that I am a better player than him, bro. Guaranteed. The question is, do we go to crystal clear just to like go crazy? No, we probably go crystal wing. At this point, it's just semantics, bro. At this point, it's actually semantics. We got John
Let's
Craig with the
go.
$9 to $10, bro.
With the
Holy shit.
$10.
I need everyone in chat to drop a W. Drop a W for this $10, and that's crazy. Oh my god. Actually insane. Everyone here
Let's
right
go.
now, drop a W in chat. That is insane. Let's freaking go. Let's actually go, dude. We have an unbeatable board. We have an unbeatable board against this Speedroid player. Actually unbeatable. Genuinely unbeatable. Attack!
And this is what playing good does. This
He's
is
gonna
what
activate, and I'm
This is
gonna
what not
negate!
relying on a yellow button does.
Let's actually go, dude. Let's actually freaking go. What is he gonna do? Oh, you know what he's gonna do? He's raging. He's raging that I'm the better player than him. He's raging. Why is he raging? He's gonna lose to time. He's gonna lose to time because he knows that I'm gonna activate Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon to negate his monster and then push for lethal damage, and he has no resources whatsoever. That's how you know who's better at Speedroids. You know who the better Speedroid player is because I knew everything he did. I even called his last card out. I knew his last card was a duplicate. Who's the best Speedroid player? Speedroids, you guaranteed know who is actually better. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the first link in the description or shopping on TCG Player with my affiliate link. In 2025, I want to be more consistent with my uploads and get these videos out at least once a week. Lastly, I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one.